From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon and welcome to your MTN Noon News for this Tuesday. I'm Hailey Monaco. In continuing coverage from the White House, President Donald Trump is looking to reverse decades of medical advice to pregnant women. Now, yesterday he said the use of acetaminophen, an active ingredient in Tylenol during pregnancy, could be linked to autism in children. He says the Food and Drug Administration is prepared to tell physicians that pregnant women should use it only in extreme circumstances. Meanwhile, the parent company of Tylenol said it's, quote, the safest pain reliever option for pregnant women. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says the department is also closely monitoring vaccines, saying 40 to 70% of mothers who have children with autism believe it's due to vaccine injury. Now, the claim by the president is also drawing concerns here locally, including from Eagle Mount in Billings, a nonprofit who provides adaptive activities for children and adults with disabilities. MTN's Isabel Spartz reports.
Through understanding is how we draw empathy, something one local organization embraces every day.
We get to do so much to impact the lives of others in really positive ways.
As the executive director of Eagle Mountain Billings, which creates adaptive activities for those with disabilities, Lynn Maloney Cabrera has grown close with those she serves.
Those with autism are just like all of us. They have important ways that they can make contributions.
A recent national conversation has her concerned. On Sunday night, President Donald Trump announced that the administration had new findings about autism.
I think we found an answer to autism.
During Monday's press conference with Trump and Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., they announced new FDA recommendations on Tylenol use during pregnancy. They said its main ingredient, acetaminophen, can be associated with an increased risk of autism.
Don't take Tylenol.
But acetaminophen is the main ingredient for hundreds of drugs, such as Dayquil, NyQuil, Benadryl, and Midol. The FDA will also approve the prescription of leucovorin, used mainly for cancer patients and chemotherapy to treat autistic children.
I can tell you, for us, we don't look at anyone as needing fixing. We're all humans.
For Cabrera, she worries that the conversations surrounding the disorder put a barrier in front of those who live with it.
I think any of those things that are not evidence-based but more speculative, I think those are things that really distract from the richness of those neurodiverse individuals in our community.
For now, she says Eagle Mount will continue to advocate for those with disabilities and hopes the conversation can be approached with kindness and compassion for those around us.
I think when we know better, we do better. And in this instance, I feel like we just need to know better.
In Billings, Isabel Spartz, MTN News.
And good Tuesday afternoon, everyone. With yesterday being the first afternoon of fall, today we had the first morning of fall, and it felt like we had a clear sky and temperatures were certainly cooler than they've been for quite some time. But looking outside live at Helena, beautiful day, almost completely sunny sky, just a couple clouds. Currently 59 degrees in Helena. Then we head over to Missoula, also looking beautiful right now. A clear sky, 57 degrees, looking beautiful with a couple airplanes in the sky. The mining city of Butte, warmer still, 58 degrees, lots of sunshine. Then we head to Bozeman. A beautiful day thus far, hardly any wind, currently 59 degrees. And we head to Billings, also looking beautiful with a blue sky and 62 of your forecast coming up.
Now time for today's leading look as we follow some of the other stories making headlines. The Montana Rescue Mission is seeing more changes at the top. This time, Operations Coordinator Tito Albaran and Program Director Vanessa Bond have been let go. As we've reported, longtime Executive Director Matt Lundgren was fired after a human resources investigation. So board member Eric Peterson says the departures happened around the same time, but under different circumstances. Max French is now running daily operations while the board launches a national search for a new executive director. The internal investigation is still ongoing. Billings will soon be home to the agency's newest field office. It's the 56th in the nation, set to open October first. Now, the FBI says the Billings office will oversee Montana's satellite offices and will be housed in the FBI's current facility on 3rd Avenue North. Officials say the new office will boost investigations and strengthen ties with federal, state, local, and tribal partners. The Salt Lake City field office will still handle cases in Idaho and Utah. And in Carbon County, a climber is recovering today after the Red Lodge fire rescue team says he was hit by a microwave-sized rock over the weekend. The rescue crew says the climber was near the Lions Camp on the Lake Fork of Rock Creek on Sunday when he was hit by the rock, ending in multiple injuries. It took multiple crews to get the climber out safely. Now, the Custer-Gallatin National Forest Beartooth Ranger District also sent Sawyers to help clear and widen the path. The climber was taken to a Billings hospital for what crews say was a higher level of care. On Sunday, tens of thousands of people filled a stadium in Arizona to honor the late conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who was shot and killed at a Utah university earlier this month. One of those people was Chase Sick, a former Turning Point USA employee and born and raised in Montana. MTN's Jane McDonald met with Chase to talk about Charlie and the legacy he leaves behind.
He just one of a kind.
Good evening. I'm Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA and Turning Point Action.
Charlie was the man in the arena. You know, he was not afraid to roll up his sleeves and go out there and have a debate with somebody that didn't agree with him and maybe even hated him. And it was just so inspiring because, you know, he was a man of God first. He was a man of his family. And he was a believer in the greatness of our country.
Chase Sick worked for Turning Point USA in the past and recalls memories with their late CEO and founder, Charlie Kirk.
Charlie, oh man, he loved Montana. This was like one of, if not his favorite states. He would just really prize the freedoms we had out here.
I asked Chase what his reaction was when he heard the news that Charlie had been shot.
What an awful day. I was working, so I was kind of in between the canyon. Cell phone reception was sparse, but when I first heard it, I reached out to a friend and said, wow, you know, Charlie, I was just in shock, really. And I said, he's going to pull through this. He's going to forgive whoever did it, and he's going to go on to be president, because that's how I always thought of Charlie. And then when I found out that he was gone, I was just in utter despair, I guess, the rest of the day. It was just a really hard day and a hard week.
Chase said that he'll remember Charlie for his ability to have those difficult conversations.
I think to honor his legacy, we need to go out and we need to have hard conversations with people that disagree with us, and we need to, just like Charlie did, you know, just flesh out why you believe what you believe and have that conversation out of love and respect for the other human being. And that's how we will heal as a nation, and that's how we'll remember the legacy of Charlie Kirk.
And Chase reflects on his last conversation with Charlie.
I stopped working for Turning Point in 2019, but me and Charlie had a pretty close correspondence still. And the last message really stuck with me as far as his legacy. We were talking about the United States, how we didn't want to be entangled in any more wars that we felt were unnecessary. And I congratulated Charlie on speaking his mind to President Trump about the situation in Iran. And he said, thank you. And he said, blessed are the peacemakers. And I believe that is a huge part of Charlie's legacy.
In Bozeman, Jane McDonald, MTN News.